Raise your hand if you have ever looked for a shortcut to a difficult situation. Don't be shy, because let's face it, we all have. I know I'm guilty of it on a daily basis. In school, it's not uncommon for students to try to get the answers to a homework assignment or the outline for a test review. I mean, why spend a few hours to study or do work when the answers are easily accessible on the internet or from a friend? Now, don't get me wrong, shortcuts are great, but shouldn't we take the time to do something right? Now I know what you're thinking. I don't have time, it's too hard, blah, blah, blah. But if you focus on improving your efficiency, you can achieve your own success quickly without taking shortcuts.
I'm going to show you some images side by side. Here, we have a picture of Usain Bolt and a cheetah. Next, here's a picture of a peregrine falcon and an SR-71 blackbird. Finally, here's a picture of Michael Phelps and a dolphin. So, what do they all have in common? Well, if you first thought of speed, I would have probably thought that too. Because what I showed you were some of the fastest things on the planet, whether it was a runner or an animal or a plane. But what makes these things fast is the basis for my speech today, and that is efficiency.
As a swimmer, I wanted to explore what makes my sport what it is. I realized that it revolved around one crucial aspect, getting faster. And after many years in the pool, I started to see how humans are trying to get faster within aspects of our everyday lives. Our cars are getting more powerful, our phones and computers are getting faster processors, and our infrastructure is improving so people can get around faster. And now, as everything gets faster and easier, what motivation do we have to improve our efficiency?
I started swimming at a very young age. Although I struggled with butterfly and breaststroke, as I still do today, I developed a love for freestyle, and particularly backstroke. My first blue ribbon at the age of 6, when I won the 25-yard backstroke, made me realize that I enjoyed swimming and wanted to continue it. As I progressed in the sport, my times dropped and my stroke became better. That doesn't mean that my stroke didn't come with a couple flaws, though. I had a really bad tendency to crash into lane lines during backstroke, especially when I was sprinting, because I was paying more attention on my speed instead of my technique. This left me with cut hands, twisted fingers, and marks on my back from running into the lane line so many times. One particularly nasty run-in with the lane line prompted me to take action and ask my coach what I should do to improve my stroke. He took a look at my stroke and instantly saw 2 problems. 1, where I would not keep my head straight, and 2, where I would cross with my hands. I focused on these issues every day, and with just these 2 fixes, I fixed my stroke, and I instantly saw improvements in my swimming. My swimming got faster, I used less energy, and the changes thankfully removed my tendency to get up and close and personal with the lane line. I was swimming more efficiently.
As for me, I started swimming very late in the game. By 13 years old, when most of my teammates were peaking, I was continuing to improve and getting faster. I was under the impression that by training hard and getting more experience, I could continue to improve. However, by 15, I wasn't dropping any time, and as a sprinter, my whole career centered around speed. At practice one day, my coach pointed out a small inconsistency in my hand placement that was creating drag and slowing me down. At first, I didn't believe that something that small could possibly be the reason I wasn't getting faster. So I continued swimming the same way, constantly looking for shortcuts to my training to compensate for it. Months went by, and I was still stuck in the same plateau. So I took it upon myself to focus on my hands at every practice and work on every aspect of my upper body stroke. My coach gave me specific sets every day that would help me, and I even invested in a special paddle specifically made to fix my hand placement. Finally, after a plateau of only 2 years, I dropped a second in my 50 free. And in the sprinting world, a second is everything. But nothing about my swimming changed except for my focus on my hand placement. I learned that there are no shortcuts to speed, and you need to be committed to becoming efficient.
Athletes are being progressively faster, constantly breaking records and setting new heights. While many people are pushing their body's limits, many athletes know that the key to success and efficiency is in their movements. Take Michael Phelps, for example. Michael Phelps is known as one of the greatest swimmers of all time. He's currently the most successful Olympic athlete with the most gold medals won during one Olympic Games and the most medals won overall. Now, although Phelps is genetically gifted, having a 6'4" stature and an abnormal 6'7" wingspan and double-jointed legs, his technique has been perfected over the years, giving him a very efficient stroke and underwater kick. To give you more perspective, having an efficient technique means getting more distance for every stroke versus your competitors. For example, it would take me 12 strokes to get from one side of the pool to the other, whereas it would take Phelps 7 strokes to swim the same distance. With that efficiency, Phelps would get across the pool both faster and with less energy, which gives him an edge over his opponents.
Transitioning from water to land, let's look at Usain Bolt. Usain Bolt currently holds the world record in the 100-meter dash, making him the fastest runner on the planet. But what makes him so fast? No surprise here, it's his efficiency. Due to his massive height advantage over his rivals, he has much longer legs, which translate to more efficient running. Dr. Sam Allen, a professor of biomechanics at Tufts University, states that elite sprinters don't swing their legs any faster than recreational runners. Elite athletes generate so much more power owing to the fact that they have naturally more fast-twitch muscle fibers. These elite athletes therefore spend a lot less time on the ground, which results in them being propelled forward and more quicker. As you can tell, people have not been necessarily getting faster, but rather more efficient.
Now, let's switch to something more relatable to us in this room, technology. Technology is improving exponentially with the processing powers in our phones, tablets, and computers growing. We want our technology that works so quickly that we can have the answer to a question within seconds. It has created a demand for instant gratification and has amplified the use of our shortcuts. Teachers use scantrons so that our tests will be graded by a machine. Emails evolved so we don't actually have to handwrite a letter and wait a few days for it to be received. I mean, we don't even knock on doors anymore because we can just send a text and say we're outside. Just like athletes, engineers look toward efficiency as an answer to improving technology by making processors smaller and more efficient.
We can see how everything is reaching its limit in raw power and speed. Therefore, we must keep improving and increasing efficiency. Elite sprinters and swimmers try to gain more muscle or get more endurance out of their bodies, but instead, they should focus on getting the most out of their existing power, which will translate into faster results. The same type of mentality can be applied to many other things, such as work or our personal lives. I'm sure you've all heard the motto, work smart, not hard, and that's exactly our message here today. If you want to find ways to make the most out of your time and get as much out of something as you can, try to find anything in a process where you can improve, because you can see huge results from one small change.
Thank you.
Thank you.